Welcome back to TYT Sports on Pluto TV. Jason Rubin and Francis Maxwell once again in the building behind the desk. Around the C Block story, Francis will transform into a hockey guru, and we can do it with like a nice fun editing effect, but not until then. You both have beards.
I'm trying. He's definitely grown his way further than mine. He's got a good 15 years growth on me.
Calling him old?
No, I'm calling him a man's beard.
Oh, just wait.
Once I hit puberty, mine will look normal.
Wait, well, you know who's hit puberty and also could grow a man's beard and has also been around for a long time? That would be LeBron James. So we go to Reddit for this one, Reddit NBA thread. I'm just wondering, with how great LeBron's passing is, how much longer will he be a top player in the league? What about the top 5? He's been working on his old man game, it seems like, but when will his age start to eat into his game, assuming no Kobe-esque injuries? There's 3 very popular replies, and we will discuss immediately after. So the first one was hopefully before Tom Brady. Thank you, Adolf Guchler, for that one. And this one was a little more in-depth. He'll play at least 19 seasons. I assume since he came right out of high school, he hasn't had any major injuries, which is true. So he's got about 3 more years at the top of his game, and then he'll probably fall at the top 5, maybe be around like 9 to 12. And then one more. The thing about LeBron is that his game is so much more than getting buckets. He's an elite passer until the day he retires. He will be one of those. We have this conversation time and time again. It's hard to pinpoint when he's going to fall apart. But who's the GOAT? Father Time's the GOAT.
Father Time is. Father Time takes everyone, unfortunately. But sometimes they find it harder to take the most elite players. You don't see LeBron consistently trying to dunk over everyone. He does do it a lot, but he doesn't do it to the point where it's going to become detrimental to his energy that he has to preserve. He saves his energy for chase down blocks because he knows that's going to be more beneficial for his team. And then he'll go on the opposite end of the court and he'll utilize his passing, his shooting, his mid-range jumper, all these things.
Look, for one, there's look, this actually comes into play because of Joe Johnson's 37, and those who are kind of watching what Joe Johnson's doing in the NBA playoffs, not to rub salt into the wounds of any producers in the building at the moment, but Joe Johnson's 37, and he's also somebody who's preserved energy. He disappeared on Brooklyn for a team for about 5 years, which is very unfortunate, and not necessarily Joe Johnson's fault, where he was asked to do so much, and then you realize when you put him in a different role what could happen and how you utilize him to his best
capabilities.
Thank you, capabilities. 37 years old. Michael Jordan was 39, averaged 23.2 points per game with the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, I remember that.
After coming back from a second retirement. So if you want to look at it from a pure numbers basis, yeah, I'm going to safely assume that barring injury at 39 years old, LeBron's still going to be a 19-5-5 guy, which, by the way, is ceilings for most players in the NBA. LeBron will probably do that at 39. At the same time, I want to pull in another player who was unbelievably good at using his minutes because he played under a coach who was strong with that, Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan was the greatest old man player in the NBA. Tim Duncan, don't forget, 2014, he won the NBA Finals. That's old man Tim Duncan won the NBA Finals, maybe throwing in 20 minutes a game, but when Pop needed those 30 minutes and he needed someone to be stronger than everybody else defensively, he would find it within him to pull it out and be that strong. I agree with the guy who said about 3 more years of LeBron being top 5. I think 3 more years, I think 2 out of the next 3 NBA Finals, he'll be there, and I think there's a chance it'll be 3 out of the next 4, depending on what happens to the East, but one of which I think he'll win. I think he'll get his 4th ring. And after that, it's just a discussion of chasing down milestones, because if he's healthy until 40, he'll be the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. He'll have more points than, not the greatest scorer, he'll have more points than anybody in the history of the NBA. And he'll also be the only guy to be cracking top 10s and stuff like rebounds and assists. Rebounds might be a little different, but still, it's not just the shooting and the driving to the basket. If you were to remove LeBron's ability to score altogether and he just never wanted to attack the rim or shoot the 3 or take the mid-range jumper or work the block, the guy would average 15 assists a game.
Yeah.
He'd be 0, 15, and 15 every game.
The only thing that I do worry about with LeBron, and I may be wrong on this, is like when you mentioned Tim Duncan, I think Tim Duncan is completely okay with being a versatile, put me in when you need me type of guy. And I don't think he's cut from the same cloth not saying he's not great as a LeBron James, because LeBron James is cut from the exact same cloth as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. We see what happened with Kobe Bryant with the Lakers in his latter years.
They're crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't think like Kobe. If you're going to use Kobe, then you're going to use him the way Kobe was used 10 years ago. He's not going to try and alter his game. He's going to try and take 985 shots a game, and the only way he gets an assist is if it rebounds off the break and someone else puts it in. And then you get moments like his final ever game where he threw up 60 points, but there was a detriment to the team throughout the entire season.
Those 3 years.
Yeah, LeBron, 3 years more so than anything else. LeBron James is going to be in a similar mindset that I don't think he's going to be comfortable not being the #1 guy. So he's going to have to learn to take a kind of Dwayne Wade type of approach at some point. Maybe alter his game, still be useful, but not be the sole focal point of that team, because right there coming up next to him is going to be the Kyrie Irvings of the world, who's going to want to get more of the accolades as being the #1 guy. So it really depends. If LeBron James is willing, which I think he probably will be more so than Kobe, because I think one thing that separates LeBron apart is he understands the importance of his all-round game, and he understands the importance of how much these team players, not that Kobe didn't, but just to win these titles, LeBron's had to literally pull at everything. Yeah, his own game, but he's pulled at the GM to get players in, he's pulled at everything. So I think he wouldn't try and sacrifice that by simply being a little bit more selfish.
Time will tell. We'll stop talking about LeBron James so much when LeBron James actually stops doing things that are going to make him a top 3 greatest basketball player of all time.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the evidence is overwhelming. You can't just ignore it because you don't like his attitude towards something. We would talk about Michael Jordan the same amount we talk about Kobe if this was set in 2003.